the next part of your rocket is your engine mount. The engine mount centers the engine in the middle of your rocket so that when it goes up, it's not lopsided and it flies true. The engine mount also, it centers your engine and it holds your engine. Make sure it doesn't get blown through the inside of your rocket or it doesn't fall out. So it's very similar to, the first part of it is very similar to making your body tube. The rest of it is a little bit trickier. So the first thing that you're going to do is, out of the Tupperware container, grab a mandrel. This time they're copper, it's the same thing, and a blank, which is just a smaller piece of paper. This is the size of your engine mount. What you're going to do here is repeat the process that you used on your body tube from before. So you're going to line up your edges perfectly. You're going to bring it back so that it is covering the mandrel with one piece of paper so it doesn't get glued onto there. If you look at these, you can see where people have messed this up. You're going to take your bottle of glue, oops, closed it, and we are going to apply glue the same way that we did before. We're going to be careful not to get wrinkles again. This needs to be very precise because if it's not, your engine's not going to fit into your rocket. So you're going to take this and you're going to follow the same process here. You're going to hold it down tight with your fingers in the front, using your thumb and your forefinger to roll this as tight as you possibly can get it. Alright, I'm going to push and make sure that this is glued down tight right here and that your edges are all lined up properly. And then be careful to slide it off, and you're done with that part. The next thing you need to do is, if you have a glue mess, you need to go and grab some paper towel and some solution, and you need to clean that up. So I'll be right back. Alright, now that I have my glue mess cleaned up, I'm going to make sure I dispose of that properly when I'm done. The next thing you need to do is add your centering rings right here. These are going to make sure that your rocket engine stays exactly in the middle of your rocket, your body tube. Alright? These can be a little tricky, but I think you can make it through. What I always do is push that one to the center, and then I put one on the other side, and I push it to the center. And it worked very well that time. Sometimes you kind of have to crush your tube a little bit in order to get it through. That's fine. You can crush it, push it to the center, and then pull these pieces back out, and then that'll work just fine. So if it gets crushed a little bit, that when the glue's still wet, if you just use your fingers to fix that, it's no big deal. This is very important. You need to remember to put glue on the edges and move these back down. If you don't put glue on the edges, your engine mount's not going to do any good. So we're going to put a little bit, I'm going to put a dot of glue right here, and a dot of glue right here. I'm going to spread that out on this side, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same on the other. Alright, then I'm going to take my centering rings, and I'm going to move one out that way. Oops, moved it too far. Alright, so I'm going to put it like that, and I'm going to let that glue to sit and dry. By the time that glue is dry, that will be plenty strong for what I needed to do. The next thing you need to do is we need to make an L-shape bracket to hold our engine. So, if you look on here, there's a magnet. On here you should find a roll of tape, a bunch of paper clips, that's what those are called. You also should find a thumbtack. You're going to need all of those things. Make sure you put the thumbtack back on here, otherwise the next person who needs it's going to be crabby at you. Basically, the first thing you do is take your paper clip and you're going to straighten it out. So you just take it, you straighten it out. We have a needle nose pliers right here, and if you need a little bit of help, you can take this and you can work on fixing it. Alright, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to get it as straight as I possibly can. Alright, so now that I've got that straightened out, I'm going to take my side cutters right here and I'm going to cut this in half. Alright, so I'm going to use this half of the paper clip. The other half of the paper clip I'm going to take and put back. You might be lucky enough that you find someone's half that you don't have to straighten your own out. Now, you're done with your side cutters now, so actually you're not done with them. You're not done with them for now. But you're going to take it and you're going to make an L shape out of this paper clip. So I'm going to take this paper clip, hold it with my needle nose. I'm going to make an L shape as close to 90 degrees as I can. Alright, so there's my L right here. This needs to go through my rocket so that my engine doesn't blow through the center of it. And then this is where your push pin comes in. I'm going to take my push pin. I'm going to make a tiny hole near one of my centering rings. Sometimes it's a little easier said than done. Alright, so I made a little tiny hole right there. Then I always take my piece, my clip right here, and, oops, I try not to poke it through usually, but I usually try to take it and see kind of where it's going to come through on the other side, and then I use my paper clip. I want to try to keep this as close to 90 degrees as possible. I want it to be as close to the middle of the engine as possible. So I'm going to take this paper clip and poke it through there. I'm done with my thumbtack. I'm going to put it back over there. This is when you need your tape. So you're going to take your roll of tape. Doesn't matter if it's masking or Scotch tape. Either one that's back here will work fine. You're going to take a piece of tape about 5 or 6 inches long, like this. And you're going to wrap it around your paper clip to hold it securely. I know this masking tape doesn't look the best. This is going to be on the inside of your rocket, so you're not going to be able to see it. Now that paper clip is held snug. The last thing you need to do, you couldn't put this into your rocket with this hanging out because it would tear up the side. You need to take your side cutters and get it as close to the sidewall as you can. Cut that piece off, and then your recovery system is ready to go on your rocket.